Building a portfolio with Fidelity Basket Portfolios is kind of like making a sandwich. It's as simple as picking your stocks and ETFs, sort of like your meats and other topics, and managing it as one big, juicy investment. Now that's pretty good. Learn more at fidelity.com/baskets. Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
You know what's smart? Enjoying a fresh gourmet meal at home that you didn't have to cook. Meet Factor, your loophole in the laws of mealtime. Chef-crafted meals delivered with a tap, ready in just 2 minutes. You know what's even smarter? Treating yourself without cheating your goals. Factor is dietitian approved, chef prepared, and you plated. Pretty smart, huh? Refresh your routine and eat smart with Factor. Learn more at factormeals.com.
I knew it. Another Herdat Media production.
Hi guys, we are here video chatting. I don't even know if I'm going to keep the video, but I thought maybe this would be easier for me to talk or maybe harder, I don't know, without Roxanne because, you know, sometimes recording, hopefully you can hear me. Sometimes recording a podcast, like we don't do this. So like recording a solo podcast is hard without getting someone's feedback and, you know, just bantering on them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Today's episode is all about Traitors. So I've been dying for this season and I've been so annoyed with Roxanne because she hasn't wanted to talk about it. You know, she hasn't wanted to really talk about it. I don't know why. Or we haven't had the time. It didn't like fit in our schedule because it comes on Thursday night and by that time we're done recording for the week with our main platform. So yeah, I'm going to dive in. I didn't realize how much we've missed because I've been watching week to week. There's been 8 episodes. Today is the 9th episode. And I'm going to do an update on the 9th episode too, just for Patreon though. So if you want to hear my thoughts on the 9th episode, you have to join our Patreon for that. But I'm going to do 1 through 8 with everyone, kind of gather, speed you guys up on what I think and what has been happening. And I hope you guys agree on my takes a little bit. But when I did go down the line to like kind of to write this, I have a whole like note sheet because again, it's been 8 episodes and I kind of forgot what happened. So I had to like kind of go back and see. So if you see me like looking over, I'm just like reading some of my notes. But I hope you guys like this episode. We miss Roxanne. She's on her vacation. She's coming back this weekend. We will definitely update you guys on what her kids did to me, if they did anything, and hopefully they're good. I'm watching them this weekend. So, yeah, that should be fun. Sorry, I'm going to put on some lip gloss. This is Road, by the way. I don't think it's worth it, to be honest. So, sorry, don't kill me, but it's good. I just like wouldn't repurchase though, if you guys wanted to know. Anyways, so back to Traitors. If you guys are not watching Traitors, you guys need to. It's probably one of the best shows. And I feel so bad if people can't get access to Peacock. You know, if you can't watch, is there any other ways that people can? Is there another site? Can they buy it? I don't know, because it's so good. And yeah, I'm obsessed. And like a lot of my friends who don't watch The Real Housewives or anything, like watch Traitors and like we can't wait to talk about it, you know, the next day on Friday and Saturday. But as I said, you know, there was one episode Roxanne and I did talk about like what we thought about the cast. So we kind of went down the line of who's on the cast, what we think. I'm not going to really do that, but I'm sure as we go throughout the episode, you will kind of get my drift on them. I will say this season has pissed me off like no other. You know, I'm usually someone who, like last season, I was kind of on the side of the Traitors. Like I wanted the Traitors to win. I loved Phaedra so much. I loved who was playing. So I kind of wanted to see the Traitors to win in a sense. Like I would go back and forth a lot. But this season, I can't stand the Traitors, except Caroline I am starting to really like because I think she kind of deserves it. But we'll walk through it together. But yeah, I want to know what you guys feel about the cast. Like, do you guys think they're dumb? Do you guys think they're not playing a smart game? The one thing that I think that they're playing dumb, and like, for example, these are the stuff that pissed me off. And, our girl Dolores did this a couple times, is like, they will vote someone because they don't like them or they piss them off on the show versus who they really think is a traitor. I think Dolores did this with Tom Sandoval. I know he was throwing her name around, but you just threw away a vote. And a few people did this, and it really bothered me because it's like, that's not how you should be playing the game. You guys as faithfuls should be playing together and not just like throwing my vote because no one convinced me enough, or I don't want to piss this person off, so I'm not going to say their name. So yeah, that really bothered me throughout the episodes of what I was seeing. And other than the Bravo people, so obviously we know everyone from the Housewives, we know Sierra, we know Tom, we know all of them. The only other people I really knew before getting to know them on the show was Nikki, Chriselle, Gabby, Wes, and Wells. I didn't know anybody from Big Brother. I don't know anyone from Survivor. I didn't know the Brit guy. So like those people I don't know, but as we go on, we'll see. One thing I would say though is like, we start episode one. Episode one was just we were introduced to everyone and we meet all the players. Obviously in episode one, we find out who the traitors are going to be. And this is like when Alan interviews people. Would you want to be a traitor? Like if you walked in on the show going in, like, do you want to be a traitor or not? Because what I find is that I hope this is recording me. Okay, well, because I'm kind of going back and forth. But what I find is that a lot of these people want to be traders, like you see in their interviews, especially the gamers. And I think that they want to be traders just because do you think they want more screen time? Or do you think they generally want to be a trader because like they're gamers and they love manipulating? It would be hard. Like I would not want to be a trader if I walked in, even if it was going to give me bigger screen time, but that's just because I know that I can't like manipulate like that. I would be a great faithful. But yeah, I want to know your guys' thoughts. Like, do you guys think people really genuinely want to be traders, or they just want it because of screen time? But as I said, episode one, we end up finding out who the three traders are. The three traders at this point is Bob the drag queen, Danielle, and Caroline. We also, in this episode, there was a new twist that happened in the first episode, and it was when the Bob from Survivor, so Boston Rob, they call him. He comes in the beginning and, everyone's shook because they're like, oh, he's a legend. And Alan gives this twist that if you shake his hand in that moment, he will come in and you can let someone go. No one shook his hand. So, I'd be pissed if I went all the way to Ireland and someone did that to me. And if I was a contestant, I wouldn't have shaked anyone. I wouldn't have shaked his hand either, unless I had a crazy, crazy enemy. And it didn't seem like, people had some beef with people, but it didn't seem like far enough where they're like, I'm shaking his hand because I can't stand you. You're leaving. So I thought all the players in that moment did what was right. I wouldn't have shaken his hand. He wasn't part of the original team. But I wonder if they did do it, how different the show would have been, because he wouldn't have came in as a traitor. So that has made me, wonder a lot, watching back some of the episodes and really thinking about it is like, dude, he wouldn't have become a traitor. And like the show would have been so different if someone just shook his hand, but yeah, everyone was being scaredy cats, which I don't blame them. I would have been too. But yeah, that was really like episode one. Nothing crazy happened. Except, getting to know the cast and, you could tell everyone's nervous and things like that. But episode two, we kind of get introduced to Wes and Rob and Wes and Rob and Derek. And we find out that Boston Rob is going to become a traitor and that Wes and Derek don't know. And like in the challenge, the contestants see them and they see that they're going to be coming into the castle. I'm sure that was a big shakeup for them, even though it hasn't even been even though it's been like a day, adding new players. It's like, well, who are these people? And all of them seem like really good people so far too. So yeah, that was a fun twist, and it got excited. And remember, episode 1 and 3 dropped together, so for me, they kind of all blend in, and really nothing much happened up until episode 3. I know that in episode 2 they ended up murdering. So they ended up doing a table, the elimination table, and they ended up banishing Wells from The Bachelor. So, I think that if you're a game player, you're smart enough to lay low. And when I say lay low, like freaking lay low, like don't look at anybody. Don't tell them like, hey, I think this person is a traitor. Like it's the first freaking day, like the first day. Why are we telling people what we think and, causing ruckus? Because you know what? People are going to look at you. They're going to give any reason to say like, you're the traitor. And like, that's kind of what happened with Wells. He spoke up a little bit and then everyone's like, I think you are like, you're kind of being too much. And that was his fate. Like everyone voted against him and yeah, he was banished and he went up there and he wasn't a traitor. So, to be honest, like that would be very crazy if they found a traitor at the first elimination. I think that happened in the first season. It was like the first or second, but you remember last season, it took like seven round tables for them to get a traitor. That would be really hard. And it would be like really luck finding out that if he's a traitor, unless that person really was playing a stupid game. We then get to that. We end up getting, the episode 3, I think, starts off with really, we find out that they are going to murder Dorinda. And I just thought this is stupid because I know they want to break up the Housewife Alliance and Dorinda was the loudest. And again, you guys have to lay low. People, if you're going to go on season 4 Traitors, lay low. Don't open your mouth, even though I know it's exciting and you want to meet people and see where they're at. But you can talk, but not be so loud and making it like people like look at you, So and I think that's what Dolores is doing so well on. Like a lot of people like her because she does that. She's authentic. She's not going crazy. She's not acting like a Dorinda. Like Dorinda got, murdered for a reason the first time. But I just think that in my mind, okay, I know they want to break up the Housewife Alliance, but if I was the regular people, I wouldn't think a housewife is in the turret because they got rid of a housewife. So I think that's what they were trying to do is say like, oh, a housewife got rid of a housewife. So we don't look at them. So then they started looking at all the other housewives. And I just think that's dumb. Like at this point, like people know that they're pretty loyal to each other and they wouldn't do that so early on. And clearly that's what happened. Like no one was a housewife in that turret and they just got rid of one. The one thing in episode 3 that I recall, okay, you guys, is that even everyone's seeing this, but Bob calls it out, I think, in the confessional, and he's like, Danielle's acting. And, this is something that we see throughout the freaking episodes. He's like, Danielle's acting, the shaking, the over talking, it's all too much. And he was kind of surprised by it because he's like, how the hell is this person a traitor? And she's acting like this, So at this point in episode 3, Bob the drag queen, Danielle, or Caroline don't know that Boston Rob is a traitor. So they're going to find out later that night. So like, he knows, like he's just saying, wait, does he know actually? No. At this point, I think he does know. I'm trying to think. Because why would he say that it's bad acting? I forgot if he knows or not. So maybe he got introduced at this point that he knew that she was, but he kept saying that, the shaking, it's all too much. And would you guys suspect it? That's what I want to know. Would you guys suspect her for it? Because I absolutely would. I know it's easier from the outside to say, like, I would look at them like that is so sus, but I can't handle desperate energy. And like when someone's crying and overreacting for something that's not that deep, for someone that's not even your friend, I would just be like, are you good over there? What's going on? Like I would for sure call it out. And, Jeremy did at this point in episode 3, Jeremy did call her out and he did saying like, she's crying after every elimination and he did think it was sus. And so I would too. And I'm shocked that we're still in, and you guys, all these are spoilers, by the way. I'm sorry. I hope you guys are caught up. And if you guys are not, please catch up. But, we're about to watch episode 9 and she still has not been like called out except like one time, So it's kind of crazy that it's worked in her favor. But at this point, I would have been like, okay, no, she's doing something. She's acting silly. Like, let's put the heat on her. But anyway, so we start the episode 3 with Rob joining. Oh yeah. So in this episode that he joins the turret with Danielle. So, a lot with Danielle, Bob the drag queen, and Carolyn. And Danielle says that she would rather have him on his side than having him as an enemy. And oh boy, did they know. He immediately, one thing that Boston Rob did, he came in hot. Okay. He's saying, he was like, I want this person to leave. And he basically called out Chanel Ayan, which is another housewife. And he's like, I want this person to leave. And he did not give them any say. And, I thought that was kind of crazy for him to come in like that. But I guess this just goes to show like how he's such a gamer and a good player that he wanted them to know that he means business and they're listening to him and not the other way around. But if I was Danielle or Caroline or even Bob the drag queen, I wouldn't have gave in so much. I'd been like, no, hold up. You're new. You're going to be listening to us, and this is who we want. But I think they wanted to try to gain his trust and just be cool with each other because, like, adding this was such a shock for them. So I don't know. It was weird that they just let him kind of do what they wanted. And at this point, I'm pissed. So like they're picking Chanel Ion, they're picking another freaking housewife. And I love Chanel. I thought she was funny. I liked her and Wells's, little, you know, romance, like showmance that they had, like just being friends. And she was just good for the show. Like people knew that she wasn't a threat. So like it's like, why get rid of her? But they said that would create chaos. And I don't even think it did create chaos, to be honest. And so, yes, they get rid of Chanel, which again, I just thought that was annoying. And it was clear to me that this wouldn't cause confusion, but they let him anyways, like I said. But okay, whatever. I don't really care what the challenge is. So sometimes when I go through this show, and again, we're still in episode 3 here, but I won't really call out or talk about the challenges unless it shows something that we need to know up for the upcoming like elimination or roundtable or whatever. And, in this one, it was an issue with Tony and Bob. So they had an issue, and then it comes out because, Bob Harper, it was Tony and Bob Harper, and it comes out later in the roundtable. And with the beef stuff, they wanted to vote people. And again, this is when it pissed me off because they wanted to vote people that they didn't like and not that who they thought was traitors. And I thought this was a great example. And it's like, they weren't suspecting Tony. Tony really didn't do anything. He seemed like he was like laying low, but also being cool, being involved in conversations. And this is when we all look at Dylan Efron and we're like, okay, this boy is smart. So before the roundtable, he suspects Bob the drag queen, and he goes and tells Jeremy that he suspects that, Bob the drag queen is. And this is when Jeremy's not smart, okay? Like, you guys are not great game players because he right away runs and tells Bob, and that wasn't a smart move, like, even if you think and trust somebody, you shouldn't trust anybody. It's only been freaking 2 days. This is episode 3, but it's only really been 2 days. And like, why are you going and telling anybody what anybody thinks? Like, keep your cards to your chest. And like, really, like, unless you want to start providing a case like he does later in the roundtable, why are you telling people before? But at the roundtable, Dylan proposes a theory that Bob is a traitor, and it doesn't go great for him. Initially, he puts that Bob or Robin Dixon could be traitors, but the attention turns more seriously to Bob the drag queen, and everyone's trying to have his back. Bob the drag queen gets away with this because Boston Rob, the damn gamer, okay, this is when he's smart. And you know what? I will say, okay, a lot of people are pissed at like later on what Boston Rob does to him, but this goes to show you initially he really was on the side of the traitors and making sure their alliances was strong, because this is when, things get weird and this is when he does this weird thing to Tony. Okay. He looks at Tony and he's like, you didn't even thank me. You didn't even like something weird about the challenge. You didn't even thank me for saving you. And he's like, that's why he's like, I don't even know if you're a traitor, but I think you're a traitor because of this. And everyone was shook and everyone was listening to him, and they took everything he said and ran with it. And that wasn't, that was like his coffin right there. So Tony gets up, Tony gets banished, and he was so shocked. I felt so bad for him. Like, he really was like, guys, like, listen to me. I'm not a traitor. And like, he really was trying to prove himself. And if there was one person that I want to get on the podcast, it would be Tony. I would love to really know his thoughts because he is a gamer. He's like one of those guys like from, I think, a Survivor that he's so good in. And it's like him and Boston Rob had, history, and the way that Boston Rob just did that to him was so shocking. And, just goes to show how persuasive he is. And, he got up there and he wasn't a traitor, and everyone was like, oh no, it's like, but again, you guys are not playing smart here. It's really annoying. And so, yeah, later in the day, we knew the moment, and this moment, what happened after this banishment, this stupid moment and scene would stalk us all the way to episode 8. And it was the whole that traitors got a note that they have to put a list down of people in plain sight that they want to put into coffins. Okay. And everyone's going to watch the killing. So, they all get together and they're trying to find, who do they put? And that goes, I think that goes into episode 4, which we'll get into. But this is when they find out that what they have to do. And we see that they end up putting Jeremy, Nikki, and Sierra. So, and at this point, you guys, Sierra is really not even in that much in the show. She shows up a little bit. We don't see that much of her, but I'm actually really liking her. And I think episode 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, she really starts to shine and we see more of her as like the players diminish. And she's playing such a good game and she's so resilient. And I think we're seeing a different side of her than we do see of her in Summer House. And I'm loving it. Yeah, so you guys, we get to episode 4, and this is Traitor versus Traitor. So, holy moly, this episode was intense because we have not seen this happen so early on. You were supposed to be loyal to your traitors. But anyways, let's go back to the beginning. So, we start here. Okay, this is weird. Okay, you guys. With Gabby hearing voices, she definitely hears Danielle's voice. So this is, again, I was talking about, they have the opportunity to write down 3 people's name in plain sight, and they have to do this in front of everybody. And Gabby hears Danielle's sight. Like, the fact that that has not gotten brought up is weird to me. It has not been brought up in later episodes. Do we think some people actually know who the traitors are, but are using them to get to the end and, they can then call them out? I really want to know your guys' take. Do you guys really think that people might suspect and people might know who the traitors are, but they don't say because they want to bring them to the end and be like, you're a traitor. And I know you are because of X, Y, and Z. And they're just like keeping up all these things in their minds, because I think that's crazy. I think a lot of people have, feelings. Like, there's no way that some of these people don't believe that some of these people are not traitors because of what they do. And especially Danielle, from the start, I've been telling you guys, she literally is such a bad actress. She's crazy. And then you hear her voice and it's kind of crazy to me that you're not calling her out. We then see the 3 that I stated went into the coffin. So that's Jeremy, Nikki, and Sierra. And everyone assumed that a traitor, everyone assumed that a traitor would put themselves in there. Why was that an assumption? Like, why did everyone say if a traitor was smart enough, they would put someone in there to take the heat off of them? Like, that would make no sense, That would make no sense to me. I mean, not no sense. Like, I understand the logic there, but there was a big probability and a big chance that they didn't put someone in there that traitors weren't in there, and they just put up people they really wanted to get eliminated. And the traitors were smart enough to know that they were going to think that way. And that's why no one volunteered to do that. They're like, absolutely not. I'm not putting myself in there and thank God they didn't, because again, everyone assumed that a traitor was in there. And if any of them 3 or 4 at the time put themselves into that coffin, they would have gotten caught by now, because again, this scene has haunted us every single episode since. And it sucks. And, the traitors played that very well. The faithfuls did not. So, they have a chance. The 3 have a chance to say something. I think Sierra said something silly like, F you guys. Jeremy was like, I'll work with you. And Nikki said something about being strong and something like that. They end up eliminating Jeremy. We find out the next morning. Okay. Caroline's pissed because she feels betrayed. And she betrayed someone from her show. And she's like, why did I let Danielle do that? And the only reason Danielle did that was because, Jeremy did have Danielle's name. Jeremy has thought of Danielle from the get-go, and he's smart for that because, again, she's weird. She's a bad actor. And he saw that. At this point, I do love Caroline, you guys, but I'm also annoyed with her. She keeps playing the victim, and it's making it seem like they won't listen. Take control of the situation. Tell them, like, you guys are not listening to me. And if you guys don't listen to me, I will raise hell. Like, go crazy on them, but she's just letting them dictate what she wants. If she doesn't want to, murder a housewife, they don't murder a housewife. If she doesn't want them to, murder Jeremy, they murder Jeremy. And it's just like, Danielle or Caroline, stick up for yourself. So that's the one thing that has pissed me off about her, to be honest. Anyways, people are starting to get smarter. Nikki is now thinking Danielle be the one because Jeremy did say it. And Dylan still can't get off of thinking Bob the drag queen is. So we get to the challenge. And again, I don't really care what the challenge is, but this is what sealed Bob the drag queen's fate. Okay. He said something really dumb, and this is what made Rob turn on him. He basically says, out of the 3 new people, one of them has to be a traitor. I agree with Boston Rob here. That would piss me off. You really put heat on me, and it was not okay, because now everyone will think about it and think about, are one of them traitors, and then try to start eliminating 3 just so to get that theory out of their head. And he's like, he put a target on my back, and he knew right away in his decision what he was going to do to get him out, because he was pissed by it. I think it was premature because the comment was out already. So like at this point, people are going to suspect you three. I still think it was crazy to eliminate him like the way he did, but we will get into it. So at the round table, Wes accuses both Nikki of being a traitor, and then Derek accuses Sierra. They get to this again, this theory of like, okay, like, maybe a traitor put themselves in there, and those were the only two that were still left because because Jeremy was eliminated. We get to the full Boston Rob experience, okay, you guys, as he then accuses Bob the drag queen for being a traitor. It is unheard of to sell out one of your own in this show so early on. Like so early on, we have not seen it. This has never happened. You want to take the traitors to the end because you want all the money. And adrenaline like this was the crazy moment. Like adrenaline is through my veins as Rob is making this big announcement. Bob was shook. This is funny because if you guys haven't listened to Gabby, she's really funny. Actually, Gabby is one of the Bambis. Her, Nikki, and Chriselle. Oh my God, don't get me started on Chriselle. She's gonna come into my rant soon because I can't stand that girl. But Gabby is really funny because she's kind of talks about the Traitors a little bit, and in one of her podcasts, she's like, even I was there, but she's like, even watching the way that they like, cut it and made it like so dramatic. She's like, I was shaking, and she's just really funny. She says in a different spin in a different way. So like, I would definitely listen to her. If you guys really want traitor stuff, like she's really funny to listen to. Bob, you guys, was motherfucking shook. Okay. He went off and had a compelling argument, but it was not enough. And you could tell the Traitors were not okay. They were so shook. I do recall Danielle and Caroline both voting for Bob the drag queen too, because they kind of had to. They knew that a lot of people were looking that way. It wasn't just Rob. It was Dylan who has been saying this, but Rob is the one that put the nail in the coffin. He was the one that said, I think that this, I think you are too. And you're over the top. You're over this, blah, blah, blah. And everyone voted for him. So the votes were in his favor. They got Bob out. And I was so happy for them. Listen, I am like this season, I am on the faithful side. I wonder if you guys are on the traitor side. Like, please let me know whose side you guys are on while you guys are watching. But at this moment, I am on the faithful side. So I was so, so, so happy they got Bob the drag queen out, even though that Rob sold him out. Anybody knew that, Rob doing that, and they have smart people, you guys. They still have Wes in the game. They still have Derek in the game. They still have a lot of people who are very smart. They know the only way that a traitor would really call out a traitor with conviction means that person has to be a traitor. And, that just sold his fate. And I wonder, I'm pretty sure that, Boston Rob came out and said that he would have played it differently. I would wonder, did he say that? You guys let me know, because I thought I heard something. I know Poverty from season 2 says that she thinks that Rob didn't want someone else running the show, so he was going to do that regardless. He did not like that someone else had the power, that someone was louder than him, so he made sure to eliminate Bob, and that so he could pursue the girls. That's what Poverty said from season 2. I was listening to a bunch of people talk about, their perspective and size, and that was an interesting take. She annoyed me last season too. Poverty, remember her? Poverty, that was the best, and Phaedra called her out. It was amazing. But yeah, so that was crazy. That was one of the best episodes so far leading up to it, and yeah, they got him out. So we start episode 5 in the turret, and it's chaos in there. None of them trust each other, rightfully so. They eliminate again a motherfucking housewife. Like, get me Andy Cohen. Let's go into the turret. Let's get them out. Like, what is happening here? Like, why are they so threatened by your housewives? Like, what are they doing for you guys? Like, why are you guys so mad? You guys already got rid of most of them. There's no alliance here anymore. And they get rid of Robin. You guys, one thing I will say about Robin, okay? Let me speak into the camera. This girl thought she knew everything, okay? I'm embarrassed for her, because homegirl even said, like, I've gotten, stuff stolen from me. Now I know how to read people. I would never let that happen again. She was convinced she knew everything. Okay. Homegirl got every single theory wrong, I think, up until the very end, because she did suspect Boston Rob, but like everyone did at that point. she suspected, or she got everyone wrong. She literally said things with conviction and they were so off. And I'm like, are you okay? You need real life lessons. You need to do some soul searching. Your intuitiveness is off. Your feelings are off. You do not know how to read people. And I know this game is hard. It looks a lot harder. I'm sure it's a lot harder than it appears to us because we know all the answers and it's easy. But Robin, every single roundtable, you guys voted the wrong person. Even though, like, even for example, Bob the drag queen, she didn't vote for him. Like, every single person, she was off. So it's just like, you're not smart. You don't know what you're doing. And yeah, I was so pissed though, because like, again, we're team housewives, no matter what. We're team Bravo, honestly. And well, I am at least. And I am team challenge. I love Wes. I know a lot of people don't like Wes, but you know, I think he's a great gamer and credit is due to credit. Episode 5. So we're in episode 5, you guys. And another move that we start to see. So like, obviously the turret, no one trusts each other. The traitors are going ham. But another weird thing about Danielle, like Danielle's playing this game so wrong. I still don't know how she's still here. You know, if anyone, she should have been the first one to get out. But she says that she would rather be in alliance with Rob instead of Caroline. And that Caroline's a problem because she doesn't want them to be in a Survivor alliance. So this is when she starts putting Caroline's name in her mouth, which was so silly in my opinion. No one suspects Caroline, and I think she was jealous, honestly. So she's tried to like do weird things, but she also messes up in this challenge. Like, again, the challenges. She does something so silly, and she protects Dolores, you guys, okay? She protects Dolores and tries to give her the coin, whatever the coin is, to be safe. And which again is, everyone's like, Danielle, are you okay? Like, everyone was confused by it, but how have they not brought it up? I still don't understand how she's still in this game. She has gotten so lucky. She's not playing smart. I really think people know it's her and they're waiting to the end. I swear, I really think people know. And that's why I want to interview all the people from the show to be like, did you guys really not know it was Danielle? The discussions are leading back to the coffin theory. So again, after dinner, after the challenges, everyone's like, you know, saying Nikki's name, everyone's saying Sierra's name. It's leading everyone back to the coffin theory. However, okay, the most shocking thing and a crack in the Bambi alliance, okay, the Bambi alliance, Nikki, Chrishell, and Gabby. Chrishell decides to go her little acting, okay? She's not a good actor, okay? She really, you guys, she pisses me off so much. Like, I wanted to, after this episode, I wanted to create a Finsta of I hate Chrishell and start spamming her of how dumb she was and how she pissed me off so much. I hope the Bella Army really went after her. The Bella Army is Nikki and Nikki's fan. Their fandom is called the Bella Army. Nikki and Brie Bella, their fan army is called the Bella Army. And I hope they went off, because this girl, she came in, okay, shaking. She goes to Boston Rob thinking they're cool. Like, he's using you. But like, maybe she's using him too. I don't know. But I don't think she's that smart. Okay. But you guys, I thought that I saw it change Nikki. I think she's a traitor. Her reaction was so weird when she heard that, you know, you told her that Bob the drag queen voted or thought that she was a traitor. Like, Nikki's reaction was very freaking normal. Okay. Did you guys think Nikki's reaction was weird? I wish I can hear your voices. I wish I can know, because it was not weird at all. And the fact that she took that, she got this crazy feeling. Well, guess what? Again, you're just like Robin. Your feelings suck. You don't know shit. You guys don't know what you're talking about. And your intuition's off. Okay. Just look at your life. I'm just kidding. I'm being mean, but like, she really pissed me off, you guys. Like, I swear I've never been mad, like more mad than Chrishell in this moment. She then brings it to the round table. You know, everyone is, you know, between Nikki. People are saying Boston Rob, but again, it's between Nikki and Sierra. And like, it kind of throws everyone off to not even look at Boston Rob at this point. And it goes to Nikki. Chrishell then says this moment speech. Okay. She then says, you know what? This is the crack. Like, this is when she outs her alliance right now, all from a look. And she's like crying, being theatrical. You're not a good actor. Okay. You're not, this is not genuine. This is not, you're trying to act here and it's not going off. I can't stand you. I'm sure everyone can't stand you in this moment. And Nikki's shook. You could tell she's shook. She's like, what the hell just happened? And I'm so disappointed in Gabby too. Gabby ended up voting for her, but like, why would you do that? Like, why, if you didn't have those feelings, like, why did you do that too? You know? So That's what pissed me off. Like, we have this name together, we're doing all these things, and you go ahead and you still vote me, okay? And yeah, you guys, so they ended up, getting Nikki off, and she probably had one of the best speeches of all time. She went up there and she like said this thing, and I don't remember all of it, but then she's like, I'm getting back to my son. That's all that matters. And then she's like, and I'm not a traitor. And everyone was shocked. Okay. I love Nikki. I'm sad to see her go. I thought that she's a strong player. I think people were intimidated. Again, the stupid coffin theory. And Chriselle can go fly a kite. Okay. She can go fly a kite. You're a loser, crying. You suck. Okay. You did not know what the hell you're doing. Yeah, guys, I hope you're enjoying this so far, because I need a water break. I've been rambling for 35 minutes. Anyways, okay, we get to episode 6. So we have 6, 7, 8 left to discuss. And again, episode 9 is coming on later tonight. And I will get it out for you guys by Friday, probably. I actually really like watching Traitors Saturday morning. It's my favorite thing, because like I'm off, and then I wake up really early. Like not really early. I probably wake up by 9:30. I know everyone's like, that's not early, but it's my time to sleep in. So I wake up, I get my coffee, I get like my breakfast, and I just like, I put on Traitors, and it's my favorite like morning thing right now. I'm gonna be so sad when it's gone. So, okay, yes, we get to episode 6, and these Traitors, again, you guys, are so different from last year's Traitors. They put so much suspicion on them that I really feel like if we had a different cast at this point, they would have all been caught right away. This episode, Derek is very, very, very convinced that Boston Rob is a traitor, and honestly, he couldn't have played a better game, because what he did to Bob the Drag Queen sealed his fate. So it was only about time for them to want to do this, Boston Rob did say it was a hard game to play, and that really just pissed me off, though. It pissed me off. They were all over the place. Danielle's putting this, this episode, they were all over the place. Danielle's putting Caroline's name, and everyone's going back to Caroline and telling her. I think even her homegirl, like Danielle, or that girl Brittany, told her, like, they told a bunch of people. I think she even told Dylan that, and Dylan went back and told Caroline. Then you have West, you guys, okay, these are the funny parts. The reason I love Traitors so much is the funny parts. Then you have West telling Dolores that Tom Sandoval has said her name, and Dolores like, fucking Tom Sandoval, like, like, he hasn't had much attention as a child, okay? You guys, keep in mind, how is Tom still on this show? How is he still on this show? Is episode 6 he's still on? But honestly, everyone hates him, and it's kind of entertaining to me that the way that everyone hates him and how he like digs himself a hole. But watch him make it to the end. I can really see him making it to the end. What do you guys think? Do you guys think he'll make it? Dolores saying, again, this is when like Dolores again, like, votes Tom Sandoval because, she doesn't like him, but it's just annoying. But at the round table, everyone's names gets mentioned. Caroline goes crazy on Danielle. It's really crazy to see that go back and forth, because she's like, you, Danielle, are saying my name. And then Boston Rob says Wes, and Derek says Boston Rob. So at this point, it's like, who's going to be eliminated? I'm seriously so frustrated. How can Boston Rob have all these people convinced? But the one thing is, they end up getting to Boston Rob and really Wes at the very end. And Wes, this is where Wes is just not a good game player, in the sense where he like thinks by threatening them is how he will get them to vote his way, which they all end up doing the opposite. Like, Sierra's like, you just threatened me, I'm voting for you just because you threatened me. And again, like, the other theory was that maybe one of the people that came in had to be a traitor. So like at this point, all three of them are still in the house: Wes, Derek, and Boston Rob. So it wasn't Wes's night. Everyone ends up voting him out, and he gets banished. And again, they were all mother freaking shocked. So they were just so confused. They thought they really had it in the bag. And at this point, like, Boston Rob's time is coming to an end. Like, there's no way that they're not going to vote for him soon. I was hoping, but at this point, Wes gets out, and they end up, banishing Bob Harper in this episode. I liked him in the game too. He was cool. I never knew him, but I liked him. He was really sad. He was really pissed. And there was like a sneak peek, you guys, where Wes and they find out who the traitors are. I guess in the same time that they are eliminated, they end up giving him a new. I don't know if you guys have seen this. I hope you guys have. So they end up giving them a new envelope, and it tells them who the traitors are. And each person was so shocked about Carolyn. No one was shocked about Danielle, though. So that's why I was like, again, they literally had the suspicion of her, but everyone was so shocked that Carolyn was a traitor. They're like, she's playing the best game. And those are so fun for me to watch. Like, I'm happy they did that because I love just hearing people's opinions like afterwards, especially the people that have been playing the game because they're in there. They've been seeing everything. And so yeah, they were both Wes and Bob Harper. I saw just them too. I don't know if they did it for everybody, but I remember just seeing them. They were so shocked that Carolyn and they weren't as shocked as Danielle, but they were so shocked by Carolyn. But yeah, so again, Wes leaves and we get to episode 7. So we are on episode 7, and I've been saying this, I am sick of the faithfuls. A lot of them know, but are also not being powerful enough to rally and by the others to stand by each other. And I'm very, very, very excited about the reunion to really see how everyone clowns on the Traitors and how they were acting with each other. And I really wanted to see how the Traitors are going to talk to each other and how they're really going to call each other out. And at this point, you guys, episode 7, okay, are we rooting for them or are we rooting for the faithfuls? Who are you guys rooting for? I really want to know. Is it changing? Is it staying? I've stayed consistent. I'm rooting for the faithfuls. I don't want the Traitors to win this season. I think they're silly. I think they are playing a really bad game except Carolyn. If there was a traitor to win, I hope it's her. In this episode, they end up eliminating Derek, and Danielle is acting so sad. So she was their big brother people, and she's crying. Rob gets his way per usual, and Caroline doesn't give a shit because she hates Danielle. So she's like, I don't give a shit if you guys, want to get rid of Derek. Do what you guys want. She can't stand both of them at this point, but Boss and Rob, this whole episode does the famous line, someone's trying to frame me. And it really works because everyone's starting to listen to him and really think that someone is trying to frame him and that, they're trying to get rid of Derek. They got rid of Wes. They're trying to get rid of people so they can, that they can all look at him. He's like, someone's trying to frame me. And a lot of people are confused. And so I can see how he has really convinced people. He's really convinced Dylan to believe he is a faithful, but you guys, hot take, okay? My take on is that Dylan knew, but wanted to keep him closer because Rob trusted Dylan, so it helped his game no matter what. It's the famous keep your enemies closer, and he did that. He knew, you guys. He knew that he was smart enough to know that Bob the drag queen was. He knew that Boston Rob was most likely a traitor, but he's like, he trusts me. I trust him right now. I'm keeping him in this game. I'm not going to do anything right now to seal that fate. But this episode, they had the nastiest challenge of the bugs. I don't know how any of the girls did it. I was dying that Chrishell and Dolores were like, hell no, I'm not doing this. And, Brittany is a prime suspect at this point because before he left, he did tell Dylan that if he was to go, that it was Brittany, okay? And so at the round table, we get to the round table and it's Brittany versus Boston Rob. And Boston Rob tries to call her a game player. She kind of held her own. I think she did a good job. Regardless, a lot of the people have been suspecting Boston Rob the last 3 round tables. So at this point, it was like, let's just see who he is. Tom, motherfucking Sandoval, went hard on Boston Rob and it honestly worked, okay? It was all coming together in a sweet victory. When we knew it, all the votes were in. I was so damn happy to see him go, you guys. Everyone was so shocked. Tom was on a high. He thought he solved all the world problems, okay? Bobson Rob leaves in the confessional saying, Danielle, I think she's a bad traitor, a bad game player, just bad all around. And they end up telling us in this episode that they're gonna have to do a live murder, and they have to pick everyone, or they're gonna have to do live murder. Everyone that didn't have those, again, well, I don't know why I'm forgetting what those rings were called, the safety rings, the gold coins, there was like a group of people that didn't have them. And so it was Gabby, Chrishell, Caroline, Tom, and Dylan who didn't have those. So all of those people were up for elimination and there was gonna be a live murder. And that's what gets us to episode 8. But I will say, you guys, when Boston Rob left, I was so happy. I was ecstatic. I was so happy for Tom. Like, go Tom, you did your thing, this season. I want to know if he's getting good, people are being nice to him, right now, but I wonder if they hate him more for this. I can't believe it's 45 minutes in and I'm still talking. I hope you guys are enjoying my take right now on Traitors because, yeah, it's hard doing solo episodes, and I wrote some notes down and I've gotten messed up, so I have to edit some of these things. But yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying my take. But we get to episode 8, you guys, and I just watched this recently, so I didn't have to write notes. I'm just thinking of it as I go. But again, it was Chriselle, Carolyn, Tom, Dolores, and Gabby, who were all up for elimination. Okay. And they do this beautiful church entrance and they do this dramatic thing. And, the traitors are going to kill them live. And so at the very end of episode 7, we see them all turn around and they either are going to see Ellen or they're going to see the traitors. And victory is so sweet because Saturday morning, I'm drinking my coffee. I'm having a great morning because they eliminate mother freaking Chriselle. Thank you, Lord Jesus Christ. Okay. I like the traitors now because of this reason. They get rid of her. They wanted to cause confusion, I think. And it worked because I was so happy. She was so sad. She's like, oh, no, bye. Get out of my face. Get out of the castle. Go back to doing what you do because it's not here. And the one thing, you guys, okay, I have not mentioned this name because who is this person? Okay. Britney Spears' ex Sam, haven't mentioned his name. He does nothing for the castle. I don't know how he's still there. Okay. But Sam, Britney Spears' ex, motherfucking genius. Okay. Wakes up the next morning and he starts asking people like, oh, like, how was it? And then people start giving, like, I think it was the first person that walked in. It must have been Gabby, I think, or it could have been Tom. I forgot who was the first person to walk in, but they start giving this beautiful explanation of the church and what Alan was wearing. And whoever was in there, he goes, you guys, we're going to ask everybody that walks in that was up for elimination what Alan looked like, because if they don't have the right description, then they are a traitor. Danielle was sitting down at this point. She was there and she was freaking out because she's like, I hope Carolyn has like a good explanation because they're going to ask her. This was the most genius thing I have ever seen anyone come up with. I didn't even think about it. But so they start asking. Carolyn comes in and she's like, blah, 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 blah. Like she's so shook and confused. And then fucking Tom Sandoval, this is why we all hate him, because he then interrupts and he, they were pissed. He then interrupts and tells her what basically Alan was wearing, like the hat, the shoes, and like this really could have spoiled Carolyn's act. And I wonder if it's going to come to bite her in the ass later on. Like if Sam's going to say, I think you're a traitor. You didn't know how to answer this question, but it was so smart of him to do. Like it was actually crazy that he came up with that, but I don't know if it worked for him. Maybe they did, maybe it didn't. And like, they're just going to, again, leave it to the end and say, really nothing eventful happened because we're back to the coffin theory. We haven't left the coffin theory. The coffin theory is still alive. They want to put the coffin theory to bed. I understand them wanting to put it to bed, but if it doesn't make sense, like, why aren't we looking at other people? Why aren't we calling other names? The other thing too is that at this point, they know, they all have a feeling, like all the boys, there's 3 boys left. There's Dylan, there's Ivar, and there's Sam. And they all think it's a girl. They said that it has to be girls. They think that them 3 are faithfuls. They're like, it has to be girls left. So they're going to be looking at all the girls. And, they go back to the coffin theory at the round table. Poor Sierra, she really tried to convince them. I thought she did a great job. She was being very strong. She's trying to be like, guys, you guys are going to do the same thing that you guys been doing. You're going to vote me up there. I'm going to tell you I'm a faithful and you're going to look stupid. That's exactly what happened. She couldn't get it in. Like she tried to put the heat on, I think it was she putting the heat on Brittany? Yeah, she's putting the heat on Brittany. Didn't really work. Brittany is not a traitor. So like, I can see why people might think that she's a strong person, but, yeah, they don't get the traitors. So what ends up happening which I'm really excited about for tonight, for everyone to find out, is that in the turret, Alan gives Danielle and Carolyn a chance to either kill somebody or recruit a traitor. My theory, I think should happen, obviously, is that they absolutely should bring in a traitor. It doesn't make sense to kill someone. Let's bring in a traitor and let's put the heat on them, or like get the heat off of you, because right now it's dwindling down. But okay, Danielle thinks that she is going to convince Carolyn to bring in her bestie, Brittany. I would never in a million years allow Danielle to pick. I would be like, sit back. You've called me out. You're going to give me the favor. I'm going to pick who I want. Carolyn wants to kill somebody, which I think that's stupid too. Like, I think it's smarter to bring someone in. But I would not bring her bestie, because what they would just do anyways is just, end up killing Carolyn somehow. They would find a way to kill her, not share the money with her, do something that would bite her in the ass. So I think it's smart of Carolyn to say, absolutely not. Do you think I'm stupid? I'm not doing it. So, yeah, I think that they should bring in somebody. I think it should be Gabby, to be honest. That's my choice. I think Gabby should be it because she, people suspect her a little bit, I think, but haven't had any reasoning to. And I think that they're gonna have to start looking at the girls. And so they should pick one of the girls. Or do you guys think that they should pick a guy? Because since they're saying the guys are not, should they pick a guy? I don't know. I think that the guys would turn it down. I don't know. I'm so curious. I'm really curious to see who they're going to pick. I think they should pick Gabby because, again, if they're looking at the girls, they're going to call out a girl and maybe it'll be her so they could save their asses a little bit more. But yeah, I want to know what you guys think. And so that's where we left off. Episode 9 is airing tonight and I'm super excited. Again, I probably will have it out for you guys Friday. Maybe I'll watch it Friday. I don't know if I'll have time because I'll be babysitting Roxanne's kids. But if I do have time, maybe Friday night when I put them down, I'll watch it and maybe get something out. My thoughts, like it'll be a lot shorter than this, just to let you guys know. But yeah, I hope you guys have a beautiful weekend. You guys enjoyed this episode. Let me know. Let me know if you guys made it to the end here. And I hope you guys have a great week and go Traitors.